Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today I'll just share some important verses from the Quran. The verses which are teaching us how to raise a pious child. And subhanAllah, amazing is the verses are very age related as well. And the verses are from Surah Al-Luqman, where the Luqman, radiallahu anhu, was a pious person and wise person. He was giving advices to his son. And let's have a look. Bismillah ar-Rahman. The first advice he gave to his son is, he said, "O my son, ya bunayya, la tushrik billah, inna shirka la dhulmun azim." He said, "O my son, do not associate partner with Allah, because shirk is the biggest sin." So subhanAllah, it shows like the first thing actually we should teach our children from a very young age is the tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is one, Allah is our God. And I saw like in back home, in our countries, that parents, when they put their children into sleep and they do this zikr, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. And now mashallah, I found in the Quran is quite related. And the second thing, the second advice he gave to his son is, he said, "Ya bunayya, innaha in takum mithqala habbatin min khardalin fatakun fi sakhratin aw fi samawati aw fi al-ardi ya'ti biha Allah." "O my son, is there something as small as a mustard seed, and it's in a rock, or aw fi samawati, or in the sky, somewhere in the sky, or under the earth, then what? Allah will bring it." Okay, so it shows we have to teach our children the God consciousness. When the children are growing up, we have to teach them, they do something bad, rather than just shouting and screaming at them, make them fear Allah. Tell them, oh, if you do this, Allah can see you. So what happens? You are basically putting the God consciousness in your son's brain or your daughter's brain. And then, even if you're not there, in private, in secret, they will not do anything bad. Okay, this is how actually we should create the mindset of our children. And then, the second advice he gave, "Ya bunayya aqimis salah." "O my son, pray salah, pray in namaz." Why? Because you see, when the Prophet said, when the children are at the age of 7, we should tell them to start praying salah from a very young age. Why? Because the God consciousness you have created in their mind, and now if you tell them to pray, then literally that God consciousness remains in their brain. Because when you're praying, you're constantly remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is how you become God conscious all your life. And then he said, "Wa'mur bil ma'rufi wanha 'anil munkar." And he's telling his son that you advise people of good things and stop them from doing bad things. So basically, we have to teach our children the responsibility, because as a Ummah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's our responsibility to spread the message of Islam, to teach people about good, and to prevent people from doing bad things, because of our responsibility. Okay, so basically you're teaching your children from a very young age the responsibility as a Muslim. And then wasbir ala ma asaba, and also he's telling his son to be patient. If any calamity comes, then he has to be patient. You see, this is how we have to create the mindset of our children. We have to teach them the reality of life. Life is not all about like happiness all the time. Sometimes there will be a problem in life, and we have to be patient. And through patience and through salah, we have to get the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna dhalika min azmi al-umur, and it is from a great matter. And then, this is how actually before our children reach the age of maturity, we have to create their mindset. Okay, but what we do, instead of creating their mindset, what we do is always try to teach them etiquette, manners, which is good, but we have to make sure that from very young age we create their mindset. Okay, and then after that, after teaching all these things about iman and taqwa and everything, now Luqman alayhi salam, Luqman radiallahu anhu, he's telling his son, advising his sons about the manners and etiquette. Okay, he said, وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. That he's telling, oh my son, that do not turn your face from people. When the people are talking, out of arrogance, you don't turn your face away from them. And don't step on earth with arrogance, okay? Because إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He does not like the people who is arrogant, okay? And then He said, وَقْصِدْ فِي مَشْئِكَ وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ. And when you walk, rather than stepping with arrogance, walk, with the moderate steps. And وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ. And, lower your voice, don't shout. So this is like, it's a problem with the youngsters. Nowadays you see the youngsters when they are growing up, especially the teenagers, and they start, being arrogant because obviously, they hit the maturity and they feel like, I'm the man. So when their elders are talking to them or teachers are talking to them, they always like, turn their face. It's as if like, they're not listening. And then, the way they walk like youngsters, so we have to teach our children these things, these manners in our house, that, we shouldn't be arrogant, and, we should make them aware, like in this age, you're going to feel like this. You're going to feel like you're big. But actually, you're not big. You have to be, kind. You have to be humble. You have to be nice. And sometimes the youngsters, they come to masjid and they raise their voices like, to show like, they're the men. So, and then he said, إِنَّ أَذْكَرَ الصَّوَاتِ لَصَوْتٌ حَمِيدٌ. Tell them that by shouting and screaming, you can't show that you are a real man. Rather, you show the action. Because the worst voice, the loud voice, the animal which has it, is a donkey. Okay, so if we teach these things to our children, inshallah, hopefully, we'll have like, pious children in our families. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.